I'd like to call this emergency call meeting to order. Councilwoman Catherine Gill, could you lead us in prayer before emergency prayer before the to order? Councilwoman Catherine Gill, could you lead us in prayer before emergency prayer before the order?
Done this week so far. But those are the occurrences, those are where they occurred at. I don't give a lot of details on the victims because I don't wish them to be re-victimized. And like I said, we're working actively on it. As y'all know, we work closely with ATF, FBI, and the DEA. We have task force officers for each of those. Task force officers are our police officers that work directly with those agencies. We called in the SBI. I was out of town when the first one occurred. I was at a conference. I immediately, the very next morning, loaded up and came back from the conference without finishing the conference. Because this does affect everybody that affects me. It's egregious. And anytime any property damage, loss of life, or anything, anyone gets hurt. Luckily, we haven't seen loss of life in these instances, but they could have very well happened. I've employed as much resources as I possibly can. I've been in contact with the North Carolina State Highway Patrol First Sergeant for this region. They got their hands full with the impending weather, but he was willing to help me out the best he could. Like I said, SBI has been boots on the ground since this occurred. They came out and assisted us with crime scene the first night and also with the investigative process of it all. I would like to say it's not going to ever happen again and that we got a grasp on it. We know individuals that are involved. I'm not willing to give any information on those individuals right now because it is an ongoing investigation, but we're doing our best to create probable cause or find probable cause to make an arrest in these situations. And I can't tell you all the tactics that we use to try to track and follow people and figure out where they're at and everything else. I can't tell all the tricks. I wish I could. I wish I could be that transparent, but I really can't. But it has been nonstop. Every case we get is nonstop. I've given 28 years to this thing, and I promise you, I carry this on me, 100%. We have to do something. I'm not saying what that is. I have a different sort of opinion, in certain things, but we align and there's something has to be done. I applaud the mayor for taking a proactive approach to this. She's never sat back and just watched things happen. She's always been proactive in what she's trying to do for this city and the citizens. She feels their pain as each one of y'all do. And I do, and my officers do, because my officers have to show up to this and they see this firsthand. They experience it. It affects our neighborhood just as much as anybody else's neighborhood. It affects our own lives. So, that's the guidance I can give you. If you have specific questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them.
Go ahead, Mr. Long.
So I guess my question is for you specifically about the curfew. From a law enforcement perspective, you know, I want to know what you think about the curfew as far as whether it's going to be a benefit, how it's going to affect the police department, and how do you think it may affect the city or what we're dealing with currently?
It has a lot of benefits. I can say that it would have a lot of benefits. I tried to find multiple examples today. Some state of emergencies are done just as showing the support for law enforcement and having them keep. Some are geared toward juveniles. So far, I can tell you this about the investigation process. We're not dealing with juveniles as the perpetrators in this. So a juvenile curfew is not going to assist us in anything dealing with this. But I also don't want to impose on anybody's freedoms of movement as far as in our law-abiding citizens. But I applaud the mayor for taking a proactive look at this and an approach to it, and whatever y'all decide, I'll do my best to oblige it and handle it.
I have one more question for you, Mayor. So do you have what provisions will be for this particular curfew that you're trying to implement?
Well, actually, the attorney drew it up, and if
Okay.
I do have it, I don't have a copy because I have it by phone. We couldn't get through electronically. I can read it. The challenge with it is that he wanted us to hone in on the communities or the neighborhoods where the incidents happen. If we do that, it's going to be at least 3 of the wards, and that would include Ward 2, 3, and 4. So I can tell you that much.
And if I can speak to that one a little bit, and he's basing that off of what has occurred, what is probable to occur. He's basing it on the current instance over the past 48 hours. So, Um. It could happen, they're targeted locations. It's obvious that they're targeted locations. We know that to be factual, right? Who's to say the next targeted residence isn't in a ward that's not named in that document?
So with Ward one, if I'm not mistaken, Chief, didn't we have shots fired at party pickup?
I've got to verify that,
Okay,
but we had no,
Real
physical
report.
reports taken for that location.
I wanna ask the out there question, so. Since I stay near that area. What is the sounds like it's a possible question, what's the probability on the Western Avenue? Of me hearing it in Ward one, the gunshots in Ward one?
It's, we're 8.5 square miles, open air night, you can hear it.
Okay.
You can, I live over a mile away from our, training center.
Mhm.
And 3 miles away from our training center, I can hear our training center for miles. Just through echoes and things like that.
Because I was wondering, I don't know what night the, party pickup area may have been, but that particular night, I did hear the gunshots on my side. So I was just wondering if it was.
Mayor Pro Tem?
You finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good evening. I was just waiting to chime in, representing Ward 4. We definitely have a gun violence problem. We have a drug problem. We have several problems over there. I've always been for curfews, whether it was a juvenile curfew 6 months ago, a year ago, or a citywide curfew. And of course, I do not want to restrict the movement of law-abiding citizens, but I am for the citywide curfew. I would like to know the dates and the times and how long the restriction would be in place.
Absolutely. I'm gonna read it whenever.
She asked my question, so.
Okay, anybody?
That was kind of mine, what are we proposing most of the time?
Dates and, I don't agree with the time, let me say that out loud, I think it's very early. But I believe that when Mr. Hartzog drafted this document, he was looking at the times that the incidents occurred in the last 3 days. We are not, we all know that we have challenges in our community as it relates to gun violence, but I just want to be clear about it, in the last 72 hours, we've had 2 juveniles, 2 young people that had absolutely nothing to do with anything. And so, to me, this is public safety all day long. But I will read the, Mr. Seifert wants to join.
He's on.
Oh, okay, so I just saw it. I just got it. Okay, it says an ordinance to declaring a state of emergency and imposing a temporary curfew in the interest of public safety. Whereas there have been a series of shootings and gun violence within the city of Henderson over the past several days. Whereas the Henderson Police Department is aware of specific threats of continued gun violence and is actively working to apprehend those who have participated in the recent incidents. Whereas it is believed that these threats are directed to residents of certain neighborhoods, but there are concerns that such threats of violence may impact other areas of the city of Henderson. The mayor of Henderson, in consultation with the city council, which is what we're doing now, and the police department, has determined that in the interest of public safety, it is necessary to impose a mandatory curfew in the neighborhoods in which recent incidents have occurred and which are subject to continued threats, and to encourage all city residents to exercise caution and remain indoors during the time specified below. Whereas pursuant to section 10-8D1 of the City of Henderson Code of Ordinances, the mayor has the authority to impose a curfew in certain areas of the city during a state of emergency. And whereas there currently exists a state of emergency within the city of Henderson due to the threats of continued gun violence. It says, now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Melissa Elliott, the mayor of the city of Henderson, hereby proclaim that there exists a state of emergency within the city of Henderson due to specific threats of continued gun violence within the city, which endangers the life and safety of the general public. Further be it proclaimed that pursuant to section 10(8)(d)(1) of the city of Henderson's Code of Ordinances, a curfew is imposed as set forth herein, except as necessary for traveling to and from employment, seeking medical assistance, or seeking food or other commodities of service necessary to sustain the well-being of oneself or family, or otherwise exempted by law from this proclamation. No one shall be or travel upon any public street, alley, or roadway, or upon public property during the hours of 8 p.m. through 5 a.m. in the following areas. All of the other residents of the city of Henderson are hereby advised to exercise due caution, and it is recommended that citizens stay indoors during the hours specified above for their own safety. The mayor, city manager, and the chief of police will monitor the situation on a daily basis to determine the need for this curfew to remain in place. This curfew shall apply during the period specified above for each day until the curfew is removed by a proclamation of the mayor or as directed by the council on this 22nd day of January 2026. So basically, I believe the agreement was 5 days, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Manager.
Yeah, ma'am, but then Friday and Tuesday.
Yes, so that's what was, that's what it says.
And is this going to be citywide, or is it just gonna be the 3 wards that you named?
That will be totally up to the police chief. I mean, I can make the call, but I would rather him do it.
I made it adamantly clear that I'm against imposing it just on certain wards. I think it leads us down a road that is, and I'm trying to figure out how exactly do I impose it? How do I enforce it that way, you know? I know what it gives me permission to do, right? And what it leads me down the road to do. But, you know, we're facing a storm that's coming. People are trying to get to the store and buy commodities and goods and things like that. And I know it covers some of that. I know what it says and what it allows me to do, but it's a hard document to enforce. In that way, and in that manner. And the last thing I wanna do is look. I want to target bad people. I don't wanna target good people. I don't wanna impose things on certain neighborhoods or certain people. I wanna be fair about it. So, even though I have input, it's not my document. I think that's why she brought it for guidance and looking for guidance here on what to say and all. I know what the attorney wrote. That doesn't mean I have to agree with what the attorney says, right? I'm my own person. I have 20 years of doing this, 13 years of being the chief. Okay, so take my opinion for what it's worth. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
It's up for discussion, because I'm gonna make a declaration, but it is up for discussion, so I'm asking for input before I say what should happen. I really want you all to be a part of it. I don't wanna do it by myself.
What were the times again?
It's at 8 p.m. to 5 a.m.
8 to 5.
For 5 days.
5 days.
Yeah.
Citywide? Or ward specific?
I don't know how we're gonna do ward specific, because there was an alleged. It's 2, 3, and 4 if we do just the incidents. But there was alleged shots fired in Ward 1, so I just think it would be fair across the board instead of just doing 2, 3, and 4.
I think it should be citywide.
Okay, do we have a
So
consensus?
you could,
Absolutely.
citywide to me.
Do we have a consensus for citywide?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, that's,
Time. So we have to stay to that time, the 8 o'clock time.
we don't have to,
Time, the time can't be
y'all can
like
adjust it.
pushed back to maybe 10 o'clock. Too late.
It's gonna give them to still motivate them.
Looking at the times, I would agree with 8 p.m. to 5 p.m.
I don't agree with 8 o'clock.
Just simply looking at.
Okay, how many people?
Because when you look at it, you got to look at, we have businesses that stay open to 9 o'clock and some businesses that stay open to 10 o'clock. And we got to understand, people still work. So if it's a fast food chain and they have to close at 8 o'clock and they close at 10, let them people hours. People are already complaining about how high the taxes and they can't pay this cash. So if you're cutting their money, that's why I said 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Some of us can do it. I can do 8 o'clock because I'm self-employed and I'm good. But I'm thinking about the other people that have to go to work and need their money. And when you're cutting their hours like that, to me, that's not good.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question for the chief.
All right, come on back to.
That's fine.
So chief, the first shot, the first act,
West Drive.
around what time was that?
I
Estimated.
I think it's on the document.
there's something.
It's on that doc said.
So it's not on that document, it's on the Facebook page.
It was, yeah, it was right before 6, wasn't
Yeah, everything occurred before,
it?
10
Before
o'clock.
8. We did something on one.
Everything has occurred before 10 o'clock. But again, we have a transit community, right? We have people flowing through here from other counties that come through and things like that. So like I said, certain portions of this will be easily enforceable, certain portions of this will not be easily enforceable. Since I've been here, I remember one time me requesting that I requested that we do a curfew, and that was during a bad storm where we lost power in a large portion of the city. We had to evacuate a nursing home, actually 2 nursing homes, I believe, gas leaks and things like that. And I requested a curfew for that, and it was extremely difficult. And that was during the middle of a severe weather event. So, again, I'll leave the times up for this group.
I'll support 10 p.m.
Say again?
I said I will support 10 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so, I guess once we get this printed off, we're gonna go with citywide,
Okay.
10 p.m. for 5 days. And I have full confidence in our police department because our chief and his employees work very hard to apprehend the suspects. I feel like they'll be in custody before Tuesday. I do. So just wanted to throw that out there. And again, because of the urgency, no one should get shot, but when you talk about children getting shot, that's not a good space for me. So, we'll do 5 days. 10, are we leaving it at 5 a.m. or are we gonna move that up?
Cause some people gotta get to work in the morning.
Okay.
5 o'clock, I think.
So 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. for 5 days. You got something, Pam?
I was just gonna suggest that you want a vote,
We don't need a vote for this.
but I was just wondering if you wanted to go into the vote.
No, we don't need a vote. I think the discussion has pretty much laid out what it needs to look like. 10 o'clock to 5 a.m. citywide for 5 days. All right, the second thing was, that's done. It's, we're gonna also do a state of emergency for our weather, which I'm hoping to keep a lot of people in, so they don't have to worry about curfew. But anyway, so yes, we have a state of emergency for the weather. coming. We do know our governor has already done a declaration of a state of emergency, so we just want to be proactive so that if we need some support after this storm, this proclamation will be in place. So it's a declaration of a state of emergency, whereas a significant winter storm is forecast to impact central North Carolina this weekend, with the potential for freezing rain, snow, ice pellets, and gusty winds due to a strong cold front moving through the region. Due to bitterly cold temperatures on Saturday and Sunday and a significant weekend winter storm, the likelihood of hazardous travel conditions, including icy roads and blown debris from wind, are expected. Such conditions present a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare of Henderson residents by increasing the risk of traffic accidents, power outages, power damage, and freezing conditions. Article 1A of Chapter 166A.22 authorize the municipality to declare a local state of emergency and exercise the powers and duties set forth therein to direct and aid in the response to and mitigate against emergencies. I, Melissa Elliott, the mayor of the city of Henderson, North Carolina, by virtue of the power vested in me by Article 1 of North Carolina General Statute, Chapter 166A, and by the city of Henderson Code of Ethics, Title 2, Chapter 10-8, do hereby declare that a state of emergency exists within the city of Henderson due to the impact of major winter storm this weekend. Just a footnote, met with Taylor and his department heads, and they are doing an amazing job to prepare for this storm. So thank you all for that. And that's all I have. Does anybody have anything else? Oh,
How would you expedite so that so the citizens would know about the curfew? How would that be put out?
That's a great question. Tracy, can we put it out on our page and I can lift it up on social media maybe? And Tyler, could you help us out with that? Thank you so much. Yeah, there you go. Any more questions? Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Venable and seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Walker.